Hello everybody and welcome back to another action figure review. Today we're going to take a look at this older figure from Phicen, and this is Seagirl and the Four Tigers. And as you just saw the unboxing and the assembly, it's a little bit tricky to get the figure to look like she does in the comics. And let me say right away, I am really mixed about my opinion of this figure, because there are so many great things about it, but also quite a bit of frustration, and yeah, I'll get back into that. But first, let's take a look at what Seagirl comes with. First up here, as I mentioned, Seagirl and the Four Tigers is a comic book series in not 5 as it says here, but actually 6 parts now. And you get the entire first issue with the figure. So if you don't know the figure and the character already, you have a chance here to get into the rather entertaining action, bloody, zombie comic of Seagirl and the Four Tigers. Now, I'm not here to review the comic, but if you are into some of the other comic stuff that I have reviewed previously, I think you might want to check out Seagirl here, because it's a pretty cool comic. And very nice that you get the first issue with the figure. The figure comes with a lot of accessories. First up here we have a figure stand and also a waist grabber mounted here. Then we have a bunch of different weapons. We have 2 pistols, one here and one already in the holster. We get a knife, and we get 2 different swords, or 2 identical swords, but 2 of them that you can put on her back here. And the swords and the knife are not die cast. Then we get a big gun here, assault rifle with a shotgun mounted underneath here that you can remove. You can also remove the clip, and you can extend here as well. There are 2 extra clips for the pistols. We get a total of 6 different hands, 4 of them with gloves and a pair here without gloves. Then we have 2 different belts with shells, one on the figure and one here that I haven't put on the figure. 4 different pouches and holsters for the gun and the knife, and also for the swords. And finally, an extra head sculpt. So you get 2 different head sculpts, one clean, so to speak, and one with battle damage and scars here. If we move in a little closer, you can see that Seagirl here is a zombie, and she has a zombie light blue type of color. She also has a very nice paint job and details all over the second head sculpt and the first here as well. And you can see all over her body she has tattoos and miscolored skin. So this is not something that is done by mistake. This is how the figure looks from the box. And you can see here a scar as well. So she is a zombie and she has to look like it. Other than that, she has a real cool outfit, and it's very accurate to the comic book version. So she has large or high boots, leather pants, and also a leather armor on her chest. And then she has the habit of putting her shells here. And then just a brief look at the articulation of Seagirl. If you are familiar with the Phicen bodies here, you know that they are steel skeleton bodies capable of moving very naturally in almost every type of pose. And even though she has these massive boots here, we have the split boot design, so you can articulate the feet as well and get her into wide stances. So no complaints about the articulation. A size comparison here, Seagirl in the middle next to Vampirella, and your typical sized Hot Toys figure here Tony Stark, and they are all perfectly in scale. Vampirella might be the slightly tallest of the three because of her high heel boots. Before I come to my final thoughts about this figure, I just have to mention some of the frustrating aspects about it here. First of all, it's a mess to assemble. There are no instructions and some of the parts don't fit very well. Secondly, the leather type quality, especially on the belts here, are very bad, and even though you just touch it slightly, it peels off immediately. And the shells here, they are just gone the first time you touch them. They fit very loose, and in the assembly process I must admit I had to use super glue a few times to make the figure look like it does now and as it does in the comics. And then some of the parts, as I mentioned, don't fit very well. This means that it's hard to change the hands and they fall off easily. I know it's an older figure and maybe you are able to assemble it better than I am, but still, if I had to review this figure on the very same day that I unboxed it and assembled it, I might have been even more angry. But now, as I look at it, I think it's a cool looking display and photo shoot figure. And even though it's an older figure, I think it really holds up and looks cool, especially with the background story. So for now, I'm going to leave you with my opinion, and then I'll conclude this review. Seagirl here is an older release, and that means that it can be very tricky to find it nowadays. I was lucky to find it, and hopefully you know everything about the figure now, the good as well as the bad side, and can decide whether you want to find it and get it yourself. But for now, I think enough's said about Seagirl. Thanks a lot for watching this review. Leave a comment and subscribe if you'd like to see more.